Have you ever considered moving to San Diego? Or are you planning to move to San Diego? I was born and raised here in San Diego, California, but I lived in other places too, outside of San Diego, outside of the state of California, but I always found myself moving back. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I wish I knew before moving to San Diego, California in 2024. Yo, this is Isaac Owens, your real estate and mortgage consultant. And if you are planning to buy or sell or refinance or move to San Diego, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'd be happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you have. You can call or text me at the number in the description, or you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me so you can get your questions answered. I'd be more than happy to connect with you. So like I said a moment ago, I was born and raised here in San Diego, but I did move around a lot growing up. If you watched my video where I introduced myself, then you're a little familiar with my background story. And even though I lived outside of San Diego and I've lived outside of the state of California, I always found myself moving back here. So in this video, I want to put myself in the mind frame of someone who maybe has never lived here in San Diego before, but is planning to relocate here for work or move here permanently. So if I was in your shoes and you live outside of San Diego and you're planning to move here, the first thing that I wish I would have known before moving here would be to save money. And beyond that, what I really wish I knew was how important it is to save money, but also I wish I had the habit of saving money. For me growing up, I was always told to save my money, save my money, save my money, and I never really knew why. It was just something that kind of went in one ear and out the other. It wasn't until I read a book by Napoleon Hill. It's called The Law of Success. And one of the chapters inside of The Law of Success is called The Habit of Saving Money. Now, the reason why I put this as number one is because San Diego is a very expensive place to live. If you live outside of San Diego or if you live outside of California, chances are the cost of your living expenses wherever it is you live right now is a lot lower than what it will be when you live here in San Diego. So the sooner you can develop and establish the habit of saving money, the better off you're going to be when you do end up living here in San Diego. I know that if I had established the habit of saving money at a younger age and really made it a habit and was very disciplined about it, then I'd be in a much better financial place today. So whether or not you've already established the habit of saving money, realize that saving money is one of the most important things you can do to put yourself and your family in a better place financially. The habit of saving money will allow you to purchase real estate or make smart investments much sooner than most other people who aren't saving as much money as you, or maybe who aren't saving money at all. There is a personal development speaker by the name of Jim Rohn. He passed away some time ago, and he was one of those mentors who would talk to people about how they can improve their life. One of the things that he shares that's always stuck with me since I started listening to him a few years ago was to stick with a percentage. When it comes to saving money, you want to stick with a certain percentage. You want to commit to saving a certain percentage of every single dollar that you make. There's another book called The Richest Man in Babylon that says the same thing. For every dollar that you make, you want to pay yourself first. Pay yourself 10% of everything that you make and set it aside. And the purpose of that money, that savings account, is for you to be able to grow it and invest it into yourself so you can grow your wealth. Think about that savings account, that whatever percentage you're saving, think of that as the account that you're going to use to grow and increase your wealth. So then after a certain period of time of saving money, after a number of years, when an investment opportunity comes up, maybe it's to purchase a piece of real estate, maybe it's to invest in a stock, maybe it's to invest in a business, you'll be prepared for that moment and you will be able to invest. If you're in a position where you're struggling financially or might be living paycheck to paycheck, I would challenge you to still commit to saving money, but you don't have to save 10%. If money is really tight for you right now, consider starting with 3% or 2% or 1%. By simply establishing the habit of saving money, you're creating a discipline for yourself that will put you in a better position in the future to be able to be more stable financially and to be able to build more wealth and prosperity. Starting as low as 1% may seem like nothing today, but that simple discipline and that simple habit will put you far ahead of the curve as opposed to if you weren't saving money at all. The second thing that I wish I knew before moving to San Diego is how important it is to build your credit. Credit is one of those things that we're not taught in school. And for me personally, I wish that I knew more about how important it really is to have really good credit as an adult. The reason why building credit is so important is because as an adult, a lot of the things that you want to do and a lot of the things that you want to invest in or things that you might want to buy require you to have really good credit. If you wanted to buy a car, having good credit will allow you to have a better rate on that car. If you wanted to buy a home, having good credit will allow you to have a better rate and more savings and a better cost when it comes to buying that home. In some cases, if you wanted to live in an apartment, they'll even do a credit check to make sure that you have really good credit before they approve your application to live in their community. Having good credit as an adult just makes life a lot easier. Having bad credit as an adult will make it more difficult for you to do the things that you want to do or buy the things that you want to buy. If you can discipline yourself today and realize that it's so important for you to have good credit, make your monthly payments on time, never miss a payment, and keep what you owe in terms of debt, keep that number low, that's going to put you in a better position to live in San Diego more comfortably and easily. So when it comes to building your credit, there are some simple things that you can do. The first thing is making sure that you make your monthly payment on time and never miss a payment. Lenders and creditors want to see that you have enough responsibility and that you are reliable enough to make your monthly payments on time. The longer of a payment history you can show where you are actually making your monthly payments on time, the better it's going to be for your credit and the more it's going to contribute to a higher credit score for you. Even if you miss just one payment on your credit card bill or on your auto loan, that late payment is going to be there for creditors and lenders to see for years. And you don't want that on your credit history, especially if you ever want to buy a home or buy a car. The next thing that you want to do to be able to build your credit is to keep the amount of debt that you owe as low as possible. Let's say you have a credit card with a credit limit of $10,000. What you want to do is make sure that you keep your utilization rate, how much you actually use out of that $10,000. You want to keep it below 30%. So if you have a credit card that allows you to spend $10,000, that means you want to spend less than $3,000. You never want to go above that $3,000 mark. Because once it goes above that 30% mark, it starts to hurt your credit negatively. If you want to pay your credit card off every single month, that's completely up to you. But at the very least, when your statement comes in, you want to make sure that your utilization rate is below 30%. If it's at 30%, that's fine. But again, once it goes above that 30% mark, it's going to start to affect your credit score negatively. So why is building credit so important if you are planning to move to San Diego? Well, like I said before, the cost of living here in San Diego is very high. It's going to be more expensive for you to live here in San Diego than somewhere else in the United States. So the better your credit score is, the easier it's going to be for you to live in San Diego comfortably. The third thing that I wish I knew before moving to San Diego is to buy real estate. And I think it's a little bit more deeper than that. What I mean is, I wish I knew that it was actually possible for me to buy real estate and actually own real estate. Growing up, I didn't see a lot of people in my life who were succeeding financially or who owned a lot of real estate. I moved around a lot growing up and I lived in apartments for the most part. My family had lost our childhood home in 2008. And so when it comes to owning a home or owning real estate, I knew it was one of those things that you do or that wealthy people do or that rich people do. And I knew it was something that I would want to do eventually, but I kind of had this belief in my mind that, when I'm more successful or when I have more money or when I'm making more money or have a better job, then I'll start preparing to buy real estate. That's when I'll start investing in real estate, or that's when I'll actually put a plan in place to buy my first home. And looking back, I realized what a big mistake that was. Because as I got deeper into the real estate industry, as I got my mortgage license, I began to see how easy it is to actually buy real estate and own real estate. I would have these clients that I'm working with, and I would see what their credit scores are. I would see how much money they're making, and I would see how old they are, and I would realize, like, wow, I never would have expected that you could own real estate at this age and at this economic level. And the more people that I worked with, the more I began to realize how realistic it is for me to actually own real estate. And the reason why I say I wish I knew to buy real estate is because if I made it a goal at a younger age to buy real estate, then I would have been more disciplined about saving money. I would have been more disciplined about building my credit and really positioning myself to own real estate so I can grow my own wealth for me and for my family. If I knew it was possible for me to buy real estate here in San Diego and I made it an important goal of mine at a younger age, then I would be in a completely different place financially. I knew that I would have had more of that discipline to save money and to build credit because I knew why I was doing it. If you're moving here to San Diego from somewhere else, maybe renting is a better option for you financially, and that's okay. But don't let that stop you from thinking bigger. Don't let that stop you from realizing that it is actually possible for you to own real estate here in San Diego, one of the best places that you can own real estate in the entire nation. Because when you make that simple mind shift, then that will allow you to start doing some of the things and creating some of the habits that will actually put you in a position to buy your first home or maybe buy an investment property. And that could be the very thing that sets you up to start building and establishing prosperity for you and your family. Number four, I wish I knew that San Diego is a high appreciation market. Real estate values and property values are typically higher here than most other places in the US. The average appreciation rate here in San Diego is about 16%. That means if you own a home right now, today in San Diego, every single year, your home is appreciating or growing in value by 16%. And that home value is compounding on top of itself. Unlike other forms of investing, real estate is a long term investment. For example, if you bought a home today and your home is $1 million, that home will appreciate 16%, more or less, every single year. Because of the appreciation rate being 16%, after 5 years of owning that home, the value of your home would have doubled. It will be over $2 million. If I had known that sooner and I had more of a long term mindset as opposed to short term thinking, then I would have made it more of a priority to own real estate here in San Diego. Number five, I wish I knew the power of community. There's an old saying that goes, birds of a feather flock together. For me personally, in my experience, I wouldn't have done half the things that I've done or would have achieved half of the things that I've achieved in my life if it wasn't for the people I was surrounded by. Even though I grew up here in San Diego and this is a coastal community, I didn't even go surfing until I was 25 years old. And the only reason I went was because one of my friends was very passionate about it. And he invited me out to go surfing one day with one of our friends. And he actually taught me how to surf. Before we went into the water, he let me use some of his gear and he showed me what I needed to do as I'm paddling out there. And he had me go through some practice sessions to actually stand up on the board. Because of his mini training that he gave me before I actually went out into the water, I was actually able to catch a wave. And I remember the feeling of riding on that wave for the very first time. And it's a feeling like no other. It felt amazing. I remember the language I used back then was, it felt like I was riding on the soul of the universe. And I wouldn't have had that experience if he wasn't in my community. Right now, today, I have a community of people who are real estate professionals, real estate investors, and people who have a certain level of passion and enthusiasm about real estate. And within this community, I actually found them online. It's an Asian American Pacific Islander community of people who all talk about real estate. And it's because of this group of people that I'm involved with that I started to really have a bigger understanding and a bigger picture about what's possible for me in my career in real estate. Meeting these other people who are succeeding and thriving at a very high level in real estate investing, in real estate financing, in real estate sales is really what motivated me to really establish a career in this industry. I believe that when you find people and surround yourself with people who are winning at a higher level than you or who are doing better than you in a certain area of your life, it not only motivates you to do better, but it also allows you to start to believe that you can do better. It shows you what's actually possible for you. Because if they can do it, then so can you. It's no question that the people we surround ourselves with in our life have a massive influence on who we are and the choices that we make. If you're moving here to San Diego and you don't have a strong base of people or connections of people that you know here in San Diego already, My encouragement for you would be to find some of those things that you're passionate about or some of those things that you want to learn about and look for certain groups online on social media, maybe Google, where you can plug into those communities and start to meet some of those people in those areas. And if you're moving here to San Diego, it's even more important for you to start to establish some of those connections with people who have similar interests and values than you. It's going to make your time living here even more comfortable and even more enjoyable. So that's it. Those are the 5 things that I wish I knew before moving to San Diego. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe or give the video a thumbs up because it motivates me to not only make more content like this, but it also puts this content, these videos, in front of other people maybe who are like you and are considering moving here to San Diego. Again, if you're planning to buy or sell or refinance or move to San Diego and you want to chat, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You can call or text me at the number in the description, or you can schedule a consultation with me where we can talk a little bit more in depth and you can get your questions answered. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.